And so we've just seen the third round of the Boylesports Irish Greyhound Derby. 48 became 24. It was the first night in the Derby. We've seen all the remaining runners in action on the one evening. And Kevin, it's the Derby that keeps on giving for you bookmakers. Another night of shocks.
Yeah, I think we're all going to retire after this one. 3 rounds, 3 favourites, and they're all gone. Every night we've come into the round with a favourite. It goes out, whether it goes out on its merits or like Clare's Rocket, it went out due to injury. But yeah, it's two weeks in a row I've been standing on the stand. Everyone asked me, "You're going to have a bet tonight?" And I'm just going, no, I just couldn't. I physically couldn't bring myself to have a gamble tonight. It's that derby we called after the first and second round when we saw the casualties going out. It's just a strange feel to it, and it's thrown up plenty of shocks, and we're going to have a shock winner regardless now.
The top 3 or 4 in the betting, I suppose their connections will be hoping not to be labelled with the mantle of favouritism tomorrow, because it has been a kiss of death thus far. Yeah,
big time. I'd say that plenty of connections will be glad not to be carrying the favourites tag going into the quarterfinals. But it looks as though it was between LENSON, Rocky and Sonic at the top of the betting. But we'll sit down with the lads tomorrow and we'll have a look and see who gets the favourites tag.
Indeed, let's go through the heats. The first heat really set the tone. It's been a great derby for the bitches. We've seen some tremendous displays, and we saw 3 bitches winning tonight, and the first of them was Slippery Louise, and this was a thoroughly professional effort. She may have been available at 10 and 12 to 1, but there was nothing. There was no effort here in terms of there was no bad or no good luck needed. She just popped out, did it rightly. She wins by 6 lengths in 29.68. It was a hell of a run.
Yeah, no fluke attached at all. Slippery Louise bombed out. She showed that early pace last week, but she made no mistake this week. Graham Holland, we were just saying, I think he's 7 left in it. What a derby it's been for Graham. What a derby it's been for bitches. But Slippery Louise, for Larry Dunn, a previous derby winning owner, she really came out to the bars and it was all over going down the back. She just opened up. Rosetti ran hard to the third bend, and around the bottom 2 bends got a little bit tired in behind. And AGHABURREN LOLA, a dog who we talked about at a massive price here, I think after the first round. I'd said I'd seen him in a trial in Tralee where he showed excellent early pace. He's walking to the bend, but he's showing great stamina. If Con can get him to come away a bit quicker, you'd never know, he might be able to qualify again. But Slippery Louise, it's been a derby of shocks, and she got the night off to a great start for us.
Indeed, Slippery Louise, if you had taken the 10 or 12 to 1, you're happy to see Rosetti behind, because he's not a stout stayer. He was never going to catch her. AGHABURREN LOLA actually went up disputing second to the corner, actually lost his place, and then came hammering back again. And he was the dog that put out FARLOE Joey, the favourite in this race. He was third around the third bend, but seemed to stutter around the third bend, lost his momentum, and AGHABURREN LOLA took his chance. Others going out here, of course, the Laurels winner, SKYWALKER Manor, and Boylesports Jet. I know he'd had a problem after the previous round, and it just wasn't happening for him tonight.
No, definitely not. He wasn't the same dog as he was when he won last week. FARLOE Joey, yeah, he didn't look fluent coming up the home straight. I suppose it's probably safe to say. You might see him take a little bit of a break now, but he wasn't the force of old coming up the home straight for whatever reason. But yeah, AGHABURREN LOLA, he's a dog, he just keeps on qualifying, and like I said, I seen him in a sprint in Tralee. He's got exceptional early pace, more than what he's showing here at the moment. If Con can get him away, there's a lot more to come from him.
Okay, we move on to the second heat, and again another blow for the fairer sex, and this time SIDARIAN Pearl making it 2 from 2 for Graham Holland, 2 for 2 for the females, 29.58. She was exceptional out front, and HOLYCROSS LEAH ran equally as well in second, beaten only length and a half, but she was a long way further behind entering the back straight.
Yeah, arguably I'd say HOLYCROSS LEAH probably was more impressive for me. I know people will say you prefer to be on the bunny, and I'm not taking anything away from SIDARIAN Pearl. She's a bitch I highly respect and I'm quite keen on, but HOLYCROSS LEAH, Tiernan's Gift in 5, collided with HOLYCROSS LEAH pretty early. She had to fight her way to the corner. She took a little bit of a bump at the second bend. She's probably 4 or 5 behind going off the second bend. She's beaten a length and a half in 29.58. It was a sensational run from Jerry Mealy's bitch. I'm a massive fan of her. She's got 9 wins from 22 starts in top quality company. She's a bitch I think will go a long way. I wouldn't like to be drawing her if it was anyone else. I think a lot of her. ALECKO, he's another good dog for Peter Cronin. Great early pace merchant as well, good strong and stout stayer as well, stays the 550 strong enough. But this was all over at the first bend when SIDARIAN Pearl got that far in front. She was never going to be caught, but HOLYCROSS LEAH ran a gallant effort in defeat.
Indeed, just failing there, Sugar Bear Barber, a real Dublin regular. He just missed out. ALECKO, as you say, got around in third. He needs to lead in these sort of races, but he actually ran well enough to hold off Sugar Bear Barber. And of course, Tiernan's Gift and Starbucks Star. It didn't happen for them. They took bumps in the early stages. But as we said, SIDARIAN Pearl, she's there, 29.58. And again, herself and HOLYCROSS LEAH, both Oaks finalists earlier in the year, and who knows, they could go to another final.
Yeah, the way the bitches are running in this year's derby, I think it was about the 5th or 60th, I turned around after Urban Gossip won. I turned around to Frank and I just said what price was a bitch to win the derby this year, and I think he said during the week was about 7 or 8 to 1 shot. It'd be well under half that, I'd imagine, going into the quarterfinals. They're just running out of their skin, the bitches, at the moment, and I wouldn't bet against one lifting the trophy this year.
At one stage, it looked like a 33 to 1 chance, and another bitch was going to win Heat 3. BALLYMAC Bell, who had stayed on very well in her first 2 rounds, led the field down the back straight in the hot third heat. But here, ESCAPISM came home with a wet sail around the outside, took it up late. It was better than last week. We needed to see that from him tonight, because everyone thought he probably had the race there at his mercy last week.
Yeah, he did. He just did out with trouble coming around the bottom bends, and he pounced late. A much more professional performance from ESCAPISM. The clock was decent as well. He's a dog you can just see. You bet a few quid he'll be in the final. He just has that running style. He's doing enough. He keeps out of trouble. He hasn't got blistering early, but he can go to the bend. He stays very, very strongly. And he won tonight. We were a little bit disappointed with him last night, but he's a dog that you can't see coming out of frame. He really is. Jojo Fantasy, another one, over 750 recently at HOLYCROSS in the 750 stake there. And BALLYMAC Matt, slightly disappointed with Matt tonight. I'm not going to lie. He was second going down the back straight. BALLYMAC Bell was in front of him. Disappointed to see ESCAPISM get past him. I thought he would have run if he'd have ran the third bend a bit better, I think he probably would have won. He just didn't drive the third bend. You can see him easing off again in that third bend for whatever reason it is. BALLYMAC Bell, yeah, she looked the winner going down the back straight, but when you have a Derby winner, ESCAPISM and Jojo Fantasy in behind you, it's no shame in getting picked up by those three.
In the end, BALLYMAC Matt, he did finish second. I intimated in commentary that he may have struggled to even qualify off the last bend, because the other 2 dogs were flying at him and BALLYMAC Bell was still in front of him, and it could have gone either way. Now, as it was, he actually held on for second, but as you say, he's just not quite as fluent as he was last year. We're waiting for him to pop out and do a big run from the front. We know he's capable of doing it, but he's going to have to do it sharpish.
Yeah, well, he's got his jacket now next week. He's got trap 1, and he's got the trap that he wanted he got all through last year's Derby when he was so good. And I have no question that he's not 100%, or he's not the force he was last year, but he's got the heart of a Derby winner, and it's his heart that's carrying him through for me. He's still in the quarter-final of the Derby when all the big names are going out, all the big guns are getting put out. He wasn't looking like qualify off the last bend like you said, but he finds a way of getting it done. He's the heart of a lion. He's in shrewd hands, and I've no question I wouldn't like to see him with anybody else. If anyone's going to get the best out of him, it is the Dowlands, but he just needs to run those bends a bit sweeter for me if he's going to win the Derby. But in a Derby that's been so cut up like this one, you wouldn't bet against him.
Again, Coconut Corker and Burgess Popeye 14 whelps. Didn't happen for them tonight. They'll be back next year, and certainly a couple of dogs with a bright future. Yeah,
without question. Burgess Popeye is a dog that caught my attention all throughout the competition. It was only his 8th race tonight, and if you have a notepad and you're one of those that keep following dogs, I definitely follow him. He's a bright future.
On to Heat 4, and here ROXHOLME Barkley, of course, an open class racer across the water in his with previous connections of only over with Ernie Cook, of course, for the Derby. Trial form here at Shelbourne suggested he could really fly to the third bend. Had yet to really get a clear run out front. He did lead the last night early, but tonight was the night where he really got loose, left him standing to the third bend and cruised home in the finish.
Yeah, and Damien, my work colleague Damien Lonergan, he put him up as his nap of the week. I think it was about 5 to 1 shot, so you have to say Damien was spot on the money there. He read the race to a dream. He said he'd come out. He said he'd move slightly to the middle, and he thought there'd be trouble at the bend, and he thought he'd just get clear. It's exactly what happened. DROOPYS Ford, delighted to see Carl Ramsbottom qualifying there. That dog was a very impressive winner here last week. Ran a big race, running down ROXHOLME Barkley very late on there, and VIVARO Swift staying out wide and getting through as well. A veteran, well, coming up upon a veteran stage, this VIVARO Swift, but a dog that keeps running well at big prices, but ROXHOLME Barkley showed that blistering early pace that we know he possesses, and really ran well tonight.
Indeed, the 3 that went out there, Mildy and Puma, didn't happen for him. He got done on the corner. Razzle Dazzle Tierna also got done on the corner, and Leave It Dawn just failed in a photo finish for third spot. That's agonising.
It is agonising, and you have to feel for the connections, because there was a bit of bumping at the bend. Mildy and Puma, his chance was gone at the first bend, and he was a dog that was running really well, 575 track record holder, and one of the class acts that were left in, but he was just another big name that just bit the dust tonight again.
Yeah, it was a result really with English sort of form. Frank there, Mark Wallace obviously has DROOPYS Ford, owns DROOPYS Ford, and Hayley Keatley has the top dog ROXHOLME Barkley. Now we move on to Heat 5, and this one won in 29.64 by Urban Gossip. Again, a fine run. Last year she'd done a big run in one of the early rounds, but failed to match it in the next night. Tonight she did. She got to the front early. There was crowding on the inside, and she was probably flattered in terms of her early speed, because the likes of Swords Ace and Jamira Larry got in each other's way, and Urban Gossip hit the front. Okay, Kerr Castle, we know he has massive gears down the back straight, but he's not running that third bend. Again, checks up at the third bend, and Urban Gossip goes on again, and then stays on rightly up the home straight, as she does. But again, another bitch winning. Yeah,
I think Urban Gossip was going to win anyway. Going into the bottom 2 bends, the rows were going up for Kerr Castle. I never really thought he was going to beat her, to be honest. She stays very strongly. Reggie has her in top form. She's brilliant breeding behind her. And I was talking to Declan Carey there just after the draw was made, and his one that he likes is Urban Gossip. When the race manager picks out one, you have to take note as well. But Reggie has her absolutely flying. We thought last week might have been a fluke. She's proven tonight it's not, and that's 2:29 sub 29.70 runs in a row now. And for me, if you break 29.70, I think you've got a great chance to win the Derby. I think the Derby will be won this year in about 29.60-70, so she's definitely one with a big chance. Like you said, Kerr Castle, he's a young dog. He's just not gliding around that bottom bend similar to Matt, but he's got a dog with an awful lot of ability. I think he can trap more than what he's doing as well. I think he's got a lot more trapping ability and a lot more early than he's shown so far in this Derby. There's a big run to come from. And Liam Dowling, who just seems to keep on getting him through with College Paradise, another one for the Cork lads, or for the Tralee syndicate there, coming through as well. A nice dog with nice Tralee and Cork form. So 3 nice qualifiers there.
The 3 that went out, Jamara Lowry, of course, very young, and then 2 popular campaigners, Ballyhooly Henry and Swords Ace. Again, it just didn't happen from the early stages. It was just a little bit squeezy into the corner, but they'll be winning more races here at Shelburne in the future. Yeah,
Swords Ace, an old favourite of mine. I'm disappointed for the Gilberts. He'd run great in the Derby and just didn't get round the first bend, and a dog like him needs to lead.
Heat 6 was where the Derby favourite went crashing out. Law Hill Duke. I didn't particularly fancy him, but didn't run as I expected it to. I expected Dr. ZHIVAGO to cut straight across. I thought he'd struggled in for a bit of room around the opening 2 bends. Of course, with 2 Skywalker Luker out, you thought that might offset that, but tonight he was just in very bad form, or very bad luck. Law Hill Duke, he was actually in a good position into the back straight, but himself and Farloe Rumble clashed, and that left Rural Hawaii and Dr. ZHIVAGO to battle out to finish. Rural Hawaii, what can you say about him? He has an unbelievable strike rate. He loves that outside draw. He has great early gears. He's a professional. He's a dog that could keep qualifying again. He's into a Derby quarter-final.
Yeah, and he just can't stay in. He just runs so wide on every bend. Even tonight in the first bend, you can see him trying to turn, but he just goes out and around. He's an unbelievable dog. And I was talking to Michael O'Dwyer here, who was here for the draw. Helen and Michael, lovely people, and they've had some great sport with this dog. He's now ratcheted up his 24th win from 46 starts. An unbelievable veteran, an unbelievable campaigner, and even Michael said if only he would stay in, what he would win. But look, he's in the quarterfinals of a Derby. He's at the win in the 3rd round again. Loghill Duke, the word I use is mugged. I think he was going to rattled. I think he definitely would have qualified. I think he probably would have won the race where he was at the second bend. He just clipping heels there, and you just got a feel for Curly there. But Dr. ZHIVAGO for Margaret Bard and David Flanagan, again, trap 5. That's his second run in the Derby for an inside seed, and he's got trap 5 in the quarterfinals. He just can't buy a draw at the moment. But what I liked about Dr. ZHIVAGO tonight, he's only 68 pound weight, but if you watch the race into the first bend, he tried his livid best. He threw himself to get across there. He risked it all, and for a dog that keeps getting unfortunate draws, that's a trait you like to see. He's committing to the bend. It's not putting him off, and I wouldn't put him off going out again. I think he could qualify again next week. Farloe Rumble, delighted to see Paul Ellis, unfortunately earlier on in the night, but delighted to see him with a quarter-finalist again with Farloe Rumble.
Farloe Rumble 3rd in last year's Derby. He actually had a similar enough qualifying last year, didn't win a round, but just kept creeping through, and you never know what might happen. He could be in a Derby final again. Yeah,
you only need to win one race, and that's the final. It doesn't matter what. You don't look back and say you won the second round well, but you only need to win one round, and as long as you keep putting your name in the hat for next week, all owners and connections will be delighted.
I remember Tom's the best failing to win a round. He came out in the night that mattered. On now to Heat 7, and this was LENSON Rocky. This was certainly one of the most taking displays of the night, perhaps trapping better than he has done during the Derby thus far. HIGHVIEW event ran a bowler in second, and SKYWALKER RORY finishing close enough third, but never really landed a blow.
No, SKYWALKER RORY just didn't get into it tonight. A lot better than that. That's 2 weeks in a row now he hasn't trapped great. There's more to come from RORY, I'd have no question about that. But LENSON Rocky, for me, I know Sonic went faster, but the performance of the night, he's a dog that ran in the Dundalk sprint over 400 yards, proved he's early. He got to the English Derby final. He hadn't shown early thus far, and coming from off the pace, he led tonight. He's done 29.45. He's got every attribute. The middle seeding, it might work a treat for him. I know he ran from the inside over in Wimbledon. HIGHVIEW event, I gotta say, ran a cracker tonight. A dog that was breaking, doing 3:30 sections every week, had to come from out the pace and ran down Rocky into the 3rd and 4th bend. Probably just got a little bit tired in behind after up the home straight. But LENSON Rocky, for me, he'd be a worthy Derby favourite at this stage. He's the one to beat for me.
We also know that SKYWALKER RORY can break a bit better than he did tonight. Again, he'd probably prefer a middle draw, the same like LENSON Rocky. They just, if they hit the lids, that's what it's all about with those 2 dogs. The 3 that went out there, Amanita Chick, Country Legend, and Boylesports Duke, they were never involved, and they ran well to get this far. Yeah,
they did. Yeah, Duke took a little bit of a bump at the first bend. I don't think he would have qualified anyway. But yeah, no, look, they all went out on their merit tonight. I think the 3 best ones, their worthy ones, went through.
And for many, the best till last. It certainly was the best in terms of the clock. Sonic 29.36. When Trap 2 Slippery Thelma came out during the week, we knew that this fellow was going to be a red hot favourite. He ran like a red hot favourite. He got to the front early, cleared New Lawn Luke fairly easy, and then just drove clear. This is a hugely fast dog, massive engine. He's not always going to get that run to the corner, however.
Yeah, we done a preview today. We done the draw for the first round, and I rang Damien before I came up and I said, give me something at a massive price in around the 100 to 1 shot, and he gave me this lad at 80s. He had won the week previous, and Damien said, I think this lad's the real deal. He is. There's no question about that. He showed tonight. Look, he's not... The one slight concern I would have is he's not always going to get it as easy as he got it tonight. With an absentee in 2, clearing the 1, there's probably going to come rounds where he's going to have plenty more early pace in his inside, and getting to the bend and getting across that first bend in front might not be as simple as it was tonight. That's not knocking the dog. He done 29.36 tonight. He showed he's all the ability in the world. Combo Sydney actually surprised me. I thought that dog ran an absolute stormer down the back straight. I thought he was showing as much pace as the dog was in front for PJ Fatty. He's a dog that, I'm not going to lie, I didn't know much about until this derby, but he's really come on. And last week's performance we thought might have been a bit of a fluke. He's shown tonight it's not. And Droopy's T for Robert Gleeson. Robert fresh off winning the bar, one in the dock. He's running really, really well with Droopy's T as well. So another bitch through, but the fastest of the round goes to Sonic.
Certainly. Newlon Luke and Notorious Men went out, and that one Newlon Luke was second for much of the way, but just he didn't have the strength to hold off the stronger running dogs. As you say, Combo Sydney running very well indeed. But Sonic, we have the benefit of hindsight. We know what draw he's got the next night. That's going to be the real acid test. He's in trap 3, flanked by fast dogs. BALLYMAC Matna's inside, as is SKYWALKER RORY. It's a real test.
Yeah, that heat I think could be the final. That quarter final is the quarter final of death for me. You have Aurora Hawaii in it as well. It's just a cracking quarter final. And look, he's a young dog with a bright future. He'll have his work cut out for him next week, but he's 29.36. None of the rest of them they'll be looking at him too.
Well, given the way the results have gone, I'm sure the bookmakers will be only too eager to price up those heats early in the week.
Yeah, definitely. They'll probably be priced up by Monday.
Okay, well, we can look forward to those 4 quarterfinals next Saturday night here at Shelbourne Park. As we've always said, 24 will become 12. They're just one step away then from the biggest race in World Greyhound Racing, the Boylesports Irish Derby. Join us next Saturday to watch those quarterfinals.